I'll get on the air. It's in 100 years of the NFL, this has never happened for one guy to come in, not even play a down of football for the team, not even get in the game, orchestrating his own exit at the end.
Yeah.
So it's just never happened before.
A lot of conspiracy theories going on there. Be kind of fun.
A lot of conspiracy theories, not much fact, but a lot of conspiracy theories. So
let me do this. Let me do this. Okay.
I'm assuming Brucey will not.
No, he can't make it. He's actually going on his operation today.
Jesus. Jeez.
Yeah. Our thoughts will be with him.
Thoughts and prayers. That's the old cliche.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay. Let's hit it.
Let's hit it.
There we go. Welcome. You're listening to Sports Econ 101, the show where we discuss sports topics from a business perspective, and a conspiracy theory coming up here in the next segment. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host.
Wait, are you related to Antonio Brown?
What do they say? A brother from a different mother?
Oh, okay. All right.
It's so funny. It reminds me, I had a picture of me and Jerry Rice, and I posted it on Facebook, and I said, I'm the guy in the white T-shirt.
There you go.
Just in case people couldn't tell us the
right.
Apart. All right, along with my co-host, Vern Glenn of CBS affiliate KPIX-TV in San Francisco. On each commercial break, we're going to ask a sports trivia question. Of course, since football has just started a couple weeks ago.
It's at the forefront, baby.
We are going to talk football. For some reason, baseball, even though I love baseball, I haven't gotten into it as much. I gotta wait, I guess, to the playoffs.
Well, that'll be around the corner.
Yeah,
we're about 20 some odd games before wild card weekend, and then the big October baseball.
That's it. And our local Oakland A's team, would you figure they have to do a little better than 500? They'd be in the hunt for
Oakland A's right now. They are a game out of the wild card lead. They trail Tampa by a single game. They're a game and a half ahead of Cleveland for the second wild card playoff position. They got 84 wins, and we talked to Bob Melvin after the Tigers series, who seemed to think that, boy, you're in American League, man, if you got less than 95 wins, oof, could be tough. Yeah. So they got to play about 500 ball with 19 games left.
Sounds good. All right, this segment of sports, we'll see if we can get your World Series prediction.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
I know it's early, but all right. This segment of Sports Econ 101 is sponsored by Pacific Private Money, providing mortgage investments that are currently yielding 7.5%. In fact, their last distribution was close to 8%. 8%.
8%.
Interest rates going down. Their interest rates going up. You got to check them out at PacificPrivateMoney.com. Stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. All right. Let me mark this one off. That's Antonio Brown. That should be on Ballers. This whole thing,
Well, for us in sport, and then I'll mention on the air, for us in sports, it was the gift that kept on giving.
Yeah.
Every day there was something else, and which is, you're just reveling in it, So
that's like when I first started doing radio at KBR on Saturday show. The thing was Tiger Woods getting his car creamed by his.
Oh, Eleanor! Oh, wow! Okay.
I go, thanks, Tiger. You gave us a lot of good stuff to talk about. Yeah, that was quite interesting. Family well?
Yeah. Everybody's same old.
Okay, that's good news. Sometimes bad news is good news.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with young men.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Eagle. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown here along with Vernon Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, of course, we got to start off talking about Antonio Brown.
The New England Patriots' own Antonio Brown. And how about this, Edward? Right from the jump. I mean, as the moment he joins the New England Patriots, already controversy. Because Tom Brady on his radio show was asked about him saying whether or not he really was going to invite Antonio Brown to stay with him at his house so they could bond and learn the playbook. And Brady said, I never said that publicly. So already there's Brown saying this and Tom Brady saying the other. And that's Tom Brady's town.
So Antonio Brown said that.
He goes, "Oh yeah, man, yeah, I'm gonna stay at TV's house, and he's invited me in, and we're just gonna learn that playbook, and I hope we get on board and be ready for week 2, and this, that, and the other." And then Brady, who has his weekly radio show of his own, was asked about it. He goes, "I never said that publicly." So either it was talked about among Brown and maybe Brady's people through Drew Rosenhaus, who represents Antonio Brown, and just kind of conference call talk, and then all of a sudden Brown just shoots off because he's all about self promotion, which pretty much orchestrated his way out of Alameda. Amazing.
Okay, so there's all kinds of things going on here.
And just throw it out, Edward, because I have been on this story from the time he joined camp. Okay,
let's go back to the Steelers.
Okay.
Right? So the Steelers, they don't want him to go to a competing team like New England.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But even before that, Edward, remember, he had fallen out of favor with that franchise because he quit playing on him when they needed him most to win a game to make the playoffs. He just didn't show up. So the Steelers were looking to deal him, but they didn't want to deal him to somebody in the AFC in their division.
Yeah, the division.
So along come John Gruden, who's just in love with Antonio Brown. I mean, just in love with him. And why not?
Yeah.
He gets on the field, he produces. He's uncoverable. He's arguably the best at his position. And John knew in rebuilding his team to get him ready for Vegas, knew that, boy, if he had a star like that making play, I mean, that's worth 2 or 3 wins alone, just on him getting open. And
so here, let me throw in a little conspiracy here. Is it possible? Now, I hear you say about Gruden loving Brown. But is it possible that behind the scenes, New England and Oakland were kind of making this? Listen, he's just going to kind of pass through Oakland to get to New England.
Well, I really can't. We really can't comment on that based on any kind of facts because there are no facts that actually happened. So, but everybody is entitled to their own opinions and conspiracies how he exercised his way on out of there. I do believe he wanted to be an Oakland Raider from his press conference on, but somewhere along the line, because he's the one that said, "Hey, I'm going to come out. I'm going to work out with Derek Carr." Yeah. Derek Carr has worked out with him more than any other receiver ever in the off season, and so this was moving forward. I mean, this was it. $30 million contract based on if he met certain incentives, like participating in 85% of the off-season training activity, stuff like that would kick in some of this bonus money. Now, he never really reached any of those incentives, but he was on board, and I truly believe that from the jump. Now, for whatever reason, somehow Antonio Brown saw some sort of writing on the wall or whatever. We will never know, but somehow he became disenchanted with becoming an Oakland Raider. I do believe that.
Yeah, what was the big thing with the general manager? Getting a bit tiff with them.
Here's the hierarchy of the Oakland Raiders. The director of football operations and personnel also happens to be the head coach. That's John Gruden. John went out and handpicked Mike Mayock as his general manager, and what Mike Mayock's duties are to handle the administrative duties in the day-to-day operations of the team, helping with contracts, helping with quality control. That was his that was his responsibility.
Okay.
But it was John to essentially go to the grocery store and buy the groceries because it's John that picked the players and built the team. So John, this was John's thing. Hey, I lost Khalil Mack last year before he even played a down of football for me. I'm not going to let that happen again. I'm going to get Antonio Brown. So this was what he thought, and he built largely a lot of his playbook with Antonio Brown in mind being a large part of the offense. That was etched in stone. But then to Antonio Brown's own doing, and we will never know whether he was advised to do it, whether he once he figured out, well, how am I going to get out of this? The acting
Why would he want to get out of it? I mean, something must have happened that made him want to get out of it.
And you know what, Edward? We may never, never know.
So what's the relationship between Gruden and GM at this point?
I don't think it was great toward the end of Antonio Brown's run, but I think now that they're past it, they have to make it work. And I think the working, whatever was fractured will quickly be fixed because there's no time to really kind of dwell on that, Edward.
Yeah,
I mean, they're in the business of winning football games. There's 16 games facing them at the time that we are recording this show. Yeah. So there's no time to really dwell on personal feelings, this, that, and the other. You've got to grab the steering wheel and make sure the rudder is intact so you can go full steam ahead.
Men, you have to act like men.
Exactly. Wow. So anyway, so back to Antonio Brown. So he started. He started. Yeah, he missed a meeting. He missed a walkthrough. These are two cardinals that even the most seasoned veteran cannot do. You know you can't miss meetings. You know you can't miss walkthroughs. You know you can't have unexcused absences from practice. But Brown was doing all of these things, and these are, maybe more so than any other sport, to capsulize the meaning of team. Boy, you need 53 members of a football team.
Oh yeah, sure.
To move forward. And,
so we don't know why
happening.
He missed those meetings.
We don't know why. We don't know why. We don't know what his motivations were for doing that. The fact that he broke a team rule. You break a team rule, you pay a fine.
Yeah. Okay, so that's if you get paid. how's he gonna pay the fine? Well, not how is he, but
it comes out of your game check. It comes out of your deal.
That's why it's kind of
interesting. No, but he had a signed contract. He did it in March. Had a signed contract.
Has he gotten paid yet?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Is that how? So he gets fined.
Well, Edward, but Edward, his contract's void.
That's what I'm saying. Because he can find all he wants. It's like he doesn't have to pay it if he never gets paid from them.
Well, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it's all part of the NFL. No matter who you're playing for, the time you get fined, it's coming out. No matter who you play with, that money is coming out.
Okay. So even if it's a team fine, it's still going to come out of who? I mean, of him getting when he goes to the Patriots.
When he goes to the Patriots, and as of doing this show, he's signing today, okay? He gets a $9 million signing bonus, okay? And then the one-year deal, he can earn up to $15 million.
Yeah.
But we're talking about almost $54,000 in the initial fine.
Yeah.
And then there was another $200,000 for conduct detrimental to the team. And that is what voided his $30 million contract. When Brown lost his bonus money, that voided the contract, and that was the language in the contract.
Yeah. Now, what Brown is maybe going to go after the Raiders. Let's continue that when we get back. All right. Here's our first trivia question. In 1977, Bob Greasy was the first NFL player to wear what in a game? All right. Email Edward at sportsecon101.com. The answer to that question. In 1977, Bob Greasy, obviously the Dolphins quarterback, was the first NFL player to wear what in a game? All right, stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be right back.
That's a good question.
Kind of interesting, huh? All right, let's save this. Yeah, it's you kind of read all these sort of things going, okay, well now he's going to maybe go after the Raiders for some of that money, and you know,
Who wrote that?
I don't know, it's some Yahoo from Yahoo.
Mm.
Yeah, it's funny. If I'm on a team, I'm going to be a team player. I mean, I'd hate to try to be so one-sided just for me.
Well, it's
always
you have to walk the fine line between being a team player and being a businessman.
Sure, you're not going to
really
totally
at the professional level. Yeah.
Or pull over Latrell Sprewell. $100 million. I can't feed my family with that.
Yeah.
Well, that's if you have 12 kids from 13 mothers.
13 moms. Yeah. Yeah. I got mouths to feed, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Wonder how Adrian Peterson's doing with. Doesn't he have like 11 children?
Yeah.
That's why he's such a fast runner. We're gonna wait from all these people. Okay.
You got to zip it in your pants, man.
I know this. All right, here we go. Well, welcome back to Sports Econ 101. One more time, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn. First trivia question had you a little stumped there, huh?
Yeah.
In 1977, Bob Greasy was the first NFL player to wear what in a game?
I'm going to guess a towel so he could wipe his hands before each snap.
Well, that would have been a good guess. It's not right, but I can see that. And it's funny because I don't remember him wearing glasses.
Well, now.
The first NFL player to
wear
glasses. And
okay.
I was thinking about Kareem wearing his goggles and stuff. I guess it was that sort of thing, probably getting poked in the eye. Well, of course, I mean, he said, they have those face shields, but, who knows? Maybe his eyesight was getting to the point where he actually needed to wear a real prescription.
Well, when you're playing the most important position in sports, period, you better have some pretty good eyesight because you are throwing to a spot. You're not throwing to the receiver. You're throwing to a spot, and the receiver better be there.
That's it. So continuing on with our friend Antonio Brown, thank you for giving us a lot of fodder to talk about here. So we don't know what his grievance was. We know
the NFL grievance was over the helmet. So he goes after the NFL for that, loses 2 arbitration cases about the helmet.
But that had nothing to do with the Raiders, though.
That had nothing to do with the Raiders. But then he got into it with Mike Mayock,
which about what though? We don't know.
Because when you get a fine from the team, the in-house memorandum, it comes from the general manager. So the general manager is the one that delivered the letter of fine.
Yeah, but who's on it? Okay, but it was Gruden, right? Because he missed the meetings. Or
it's part of your duties as general manager. That's just one of his duties to keep track of who misses meetings, who misses games, who misses practices. Was it excused? Was it not excused? I mean, it's the general manager that keeps track of that, and the general manager that levies the fines.
And with 53 guys. Do they come in with a roster? Everyone has to check off if they've been there.
Somehow, I mean, somehow there's way. I mean, when you attend these meetings, I mean, you know who's there and you know who isn't there.
Yeah, I mean,
because you have position meetings too. I mean, everybody knows. I mean, come on, there's no getting out of this. There's no teacher calling roll. I mean,
I was there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I was there.
Yeah, you were not there. Yeah, especially somebody like him.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the other thing that he gets this memo, he gets this in-house memo that he's going to be fined. Yeah. Takes the memo and posts it on Instagram. So that's like taking. Can you imagine an employee? He takes your dirty laundry, goes public with it.
Yeah.
So he does it. So that makes the Raiders look bad. It makes Mike Mayock look bad, and so Mayock approached him the next day. This was the Wednesday before the whole dust up.
And how bad it looks. Mayock looked bad. I mean, it's just, hey, listen, you didn't do this, you're getting fined.
It's just not that. It's just that even at CBS, it's CBS policy. If I get an intercompany email, you don't take that email and put it on Facebook.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
I mean, that's a company violation.
Yeah, it's confidential.
Yeah, exactly. So that I think that's one of the issues that Mayock had is, hey man, you're you're taking our confidential stuff and you put it on social media. What
Hey,
what
how
the
about
hell?
just taking the playbook and photocopying it?
Yeah, why don't you do that? So they had a very angry exchange. Allegedly,
Yeah.
Brown picked up a ball and punted it and went, "Hey, find me for that." So after that, Mayock wanted to suspend him.
Yeah.
For insubordination, for conduct. But somehow the next day, Brown is not suspended, and there's John Gruden saying, "Hey, well, he's part of the team, and he's going to play Monday night against the Denver Broncos."
Yeah.
And we're like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah.
I guess the principal came in and kind of said, "All right, that's it's over and done with."
Yeah.
So then Brown finds out that just when he thought, "All right, I'm not going to be suspended, and I'm back on the team. I'm going to play."
Yeah.
That's it. The next thing that happens is he finds out he's being fined another $200,000 for conduct detrimental to the team.
Which could have been the posting of the Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but just by that would void out the remainder of his contract, losing that bonus money.
Yeah.
And so early Saturday morning, Brown took to Instagram again and asked for his release.
Gotcha.
A little bit after that, the Raiders release him. 3 hours later, he signed with the New England Patriots.
3 hours later. That's
amazing. 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Well,
about half the pay.
Didn't sign.
Or no way. How much did he get?
Had an agreement in principle to join the New England Patriots.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For half the pay. Yeah. For $15 million, but he could potentially earn more with bonuses. But
no, 15 million is the max.
Oh, it is the max.
Yeah. So he got $9 million for signing his name.
Yeah.
And so and then there are incentives that could reach as high as $15 million.
So an extra $6 million.
Yes.
Okay. And now I'm just trying to think of like what's Antonio Brown going to do when he gets to New England, and he kind of maybe the same kind of antics. I'll miss this meeting. It won't be a big deal.
Well, I mean, what one or two things is going to happen. Either A, he's going to continue with his act, or B, if he does, he's out of there. Yeah. Because the Patriots really don't need him.
No,
I mean, you saw what they did to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. I mean, and Pittsburgh's they're supposed to be one of the top tier teams in the AFC, and the Patriots emasculated them.
Yeah.
In fact, on the Patriots schedule, they have 5, maybe 6 deemed to be top tier teams. They face 4 of them at home, and then they just embarrassed Pittsburgh.
Wow. So, it's funny because I'm thinking if let's say he messes up in New England, if I'm a coach on another team, I'm thinking I don't want this guy.
No.
I mean,
if you couldn't play for Gruden and you can't play for Belichick, who in the hell can you play for?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not going to respect anybody else. But we still don't know.
Even the Pittsburgh coach is a player's coach.
Yeah.
And he couldn't play for him either.
Was he upset at Pittsburgh, not getting enough balls thrown to him?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, that's every receiver. Yeah, I'm sure.
Hey, 9 out of 10 to come to me.
Treat me like a man. Pay me this. Pay me what. Yeah, it was me.
Here's the funny thing is that if there was like this, specific thing. Okay, you got to throw 9 out of 10 balls to me, right? Everyone will just start focusing on you. You'll never catch anything.
Well, I mean, they have these things called targeted. Now it could be Roethlisberger maybe target him 8-9 times a game, and maybe he caught 5 balls, and it's a receiver's mentality. I mean, there's no.
It's always the quarterback's fault.
Yeah, it's never his fault. Either the ball was underthrown, or it was overthrown, or I ran the route that was called, and he threw it over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. For some reason, this reminds you because I'm thinking that if you have it specifically, okay, you have to throw the ball to me at least 90% of the time, something ridiculous, right? Mm. Where the defense will suddenly now start really focusing on you, and it'll change it completely. Back in the 70s, this has to do with the stock market. There was a guy named John. I'm trying to remember. I think it was John Granville. Granville, not football, but John Granville, I think was his name. And this guy was phenomenal at calling the stock market. I mean, he was the man. Had newsletters going out, and I mean, everybody respected this guy. But the problem was he suddenly became so popular that he could kind of move the market a little bit with whatever he stated. And that totally changed things completely. When he was kind of unknown, he was phenomenal. Once he had an impact on it, it kind of was sort of a circular argument type of thing.
Wow, okay.
And then I remember when the market was around, back then it was not even 800. And he said, yeah, this market's going to go to like 300. And that day it started shooting up and it never looked back. And he was out of business. His newsletter just didn't do too well after that.
Damn.
So I'm just thinking the same sort of thing.
Well,
it's
the
like,
rise and fall. Wow.
Yeah, if Brown were to just kind of like say, hey, you know what, just throw it to me whenever. And he would show his talent better.
How's this for a segue? Speaking of Brown,
Yeah.
What happened to the Cleveland Browns? They were the sexy pick of everybody,
Yeah.
and then they just got hammered by the Tennessee Titans. There are all kinds of surprises around the league. It was good to see the 49ers go on the road and win in an Eastern time zone for the first time since 2014.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Arizona come back after being down by 16 points.
Yeah, Kyler.
Mr. Heisman, Kyler, yeah, that was
He
great.
showed a lot of poise because in the beginning, how many interceptions did he throw? Like 2?
Yeah,
Two
yeah,
rounds?
but it was a hell of a comeback.
Oh, yeah.
The Bills come back in overtime. After they were down, they went that game against the Jets. The Dallas Cowboys just kind of took the New York Giants and just kind of tore them up. There were all kinds of interesting
And then
things
all
that
these
were
guys
happening.
getting thrown out. Well,
Yeah.
that I had never seen an opening day where so many people had gotten thrown out.
Yeah. And there could be some discipline problems going up against Cleveland, because there was a lot of pressure for them to really shine because they have so many weapons, and for them to employ like that, all the penalties, the ejections,
Not good.
no.
Okay, second trivia question. The football we're talking here. Who had the most rushing yards in the NFL for the 1980s? So the decade of the 80s. That's what we're talking about.
Take the decade of the 80s.
Yep.
And who was the man
Who was the man?
carrying the football?
Yep. Which and obviously it's a running back.
Running back.
So which running back had the most? That's a hint.
Mm.
So you know it's not a linebacker.
Okay.
Okay. Who had the most rushing yards in the NFL for the 1980s? All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101. I'll be right back. Let's see here. You're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Think. That's what Winnie the Pooh does. Think.
Mm-hmm. Here's the 80s. Mm. Mm. Is he a Hall of Famer?
I believe he is.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Here we go. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Edward Brown here along with Vern Glenn, and I've got an interesting question. I see the ears burning on this one. Simple question. Who had the most rushing yards in the NFL for the 1980s? And I say simple. I mean, it's not like a trick question. It's just, which running back?
Yeah, you just got to think of who the dominant running backs in the 1980s.
Actually, it's funny because what was the first question about Bob Greasy? What was the answer?
Wore glasses.
I believe he wore glasses too.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken.
Oof.
I'll have to get. If I give you the team, you'll get it.
God's gonna mess up my first guess was Barry Sanders.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought too. Okay, so here's a hint. This team moved away and then came back. He played for a team that moved and then came back.
Came back to that same city.
Yeah.
Oh, Marcus Allen?
No. Okay.
Wait.
We don't want to dead air time.
Yeah, not Chuck Muncie. That was too early.
No. Wait. He played. Oh, that's. I was thinking the Bengals, but he played for the Browns, right?
Chuck Muncie?
No, the Bengals, right?
Chuck Muncie?
Yeah. Oh.
Chuck Muncie. No, he played for the Chargers.
Oh, that's. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Icky Woods.
Oh, Icky Woods. The Icky Shuffle.
Icky Shuffle. Okay,
the glasses that threw me off.
Yeah,
Man,
I'm pretty sure he did. Okay.
Oof.
Well, I can't give you.
All right, give it to me.
All right, he played for the Rams.
Oh, Eric Dickerson.
Did he play with?
He did. Yeah, he did.
Not
his entire career, but a lot of it. Yeah.
Figured, they went to St. Louis, then came back.
That's right.
All right. Okay, I got an interesting little article here that I found in Sports Illustrated. I thought it was kind of interesting here. It says a fine line. I'll just read this thing here. Okay, it says offensive linemen who play for Army have it tougher than most college football players. They must navigate the rigors of service academy life and the intricacies of the triple option offense. Cadets must also meet weight and body fat standards in order to graduate, which put them at a size disadvantage against nearly every defensive lineman.
I don't know. Ask the Michigan Wolverines if they thought that they were at a disadvantage because Army almost won that game at Ann Arbor.
Yeah, they were. That's
and they won 11 games last year. Army's pretty good.
But I thought it was kind of interesting because if you think about it, you can't have these 350-pound linemen. I mean, they can't play for Army, right? Because they have to meet certain physical standards.
Correct.
So interesting. I never really thought about that. Thank you very much, Sports Illustrated. I thought that was kind of an interesting article. Okay, let's talk a little baseball here.
Okay,
make your prediction for the World Series.
Well, the obvious pick is Yankees Dodgers because they both lead their divisions and they're both blessed with pitching and they both have just have the weapons to be able to go the distance.
No Houston.
Fly in the ointment could be Houston, could be, and nobody's talking about the Minnesota Twins either. I mean, the Twins have been dominant all season long. I know they lost Pinder for a 60-game suspension. He got popped for the PEDs. But the Twinkies, they've hit more homers than anybody in the Major League Baseball. I mean, these big old corn-fed boys can hit it the distance. Dark horse. St. Louis, they've been tearing it up.
Arizona, come right in there. Boom, they've been tearing up. They might get the wild card.
Oakland A's, they get past the wild card. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, all you got to do is get in the tournament because a lot of times the best team doesn't win.
Yeah.
It's just who happens to be able to get hot running into that bit.
Look at the 1954 New York Giants, right? They were the underdogs, and they swept Cleveland 4-0.
Yeah, and the Yankees, for all the money they have, I mean, they could have had, I mean, just on paper alone, they could have a lot more than the near 30 World Series titles that they have. I mean, if the best team money can buy doesn't always win, because you got to produce on the field.
Well, hey, I can imagine the baseball media would love to see a Yankees Dodgers because that's they're two huge fan base.
Fox Sports would love to see
that's what
Yankees and the Dodgers. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Kidding me?
The last time was it 81 when the Dodgers?
The last time Dodgers and Yankees met in the World Series?
Yeah, because I remember the Reggie Jackson.
That was 77.
77.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 81. Who did the Dodgers beat? I'm trying to remember now. Because they were the only team, Dodgers were the only team that won twice in the 1980s. It was very diverse.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they won in 1988 against the A's. Remember that? But I thought it was the Yankees.
Could be. Could be. I'm looking it up.
We're talking 38 years ago. Holy smokes.
1981. Wow. Yeah. It's my second year of college.
Holy
1981.
Smokes. Yeah, hold on. Oh yeah, that's right. Because I'm 2 years older, and that's right. I was graduating then.
Yeah.
Oh.
1981 World Series. Let's see here.
So I'm wondering who just got fired recently.
Dodgers beat the Yankees.
Dodgers beat the Yankees. Yeah, that's right.
Dodgers
the Yankees kept beating the Dodgers. I think
4-2.
Yeah. I think it was 2 years in a row. Wasn't it 76?
World Series MVP, Ron Cey, Pedro Guerrero, and Steve Yeager.
Oh, that's right. They shared it.
How about that?
Yeah. The Penguin. Who's the general manager who just got fired? Or no, president of operations.
Dombrowski, the president,
Dombrowski, yeah.
after he a year after he builds the World Series champion and he's out. Now I've heard from the baseball insiders that it's not a shock because I guess there were grumblings because the Red Sox have just underachieved so much. I mean, they have just plummeted since winning the whole darn thing. So maybe obviously the powers to be felt like a change needed to be made. But man, I don't want to say poor Dombrowski because he's walking out with a big giant check in his breast pocket.
Sure.
But dang.
That's the thing too. Is like at what point do you put it on management versus the players? I mean, if you make trades that seem good, but guys get hurt or something personal goes on in their life, they lose a sibling in a car accident or something.
It's like anything else. A team underachieves, who gets the ziggy? The coach. So coach doesn't take the snap. Coach doesn't throw the ball. Coach doesn't, coach doesn't throw the pitch.
I mean, it's one thing if you make mistakes where you're going, why would they bunt on a situation like that?
Right.
That sort of thing. Or why put in this pitcher who's always getting smoked against that guy?
But you know what? Just like in the case of the Raiders, you know what, Edward? We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know the day-to-day personal things going on behind the curtain of Red Sox Nation.
Okay,
we'll never know.
You're in the media. When do you get a chance to kind of go behind the scenes and go, hey, okay, give me the real skinny?
No, doesn't happen. NFL's exec told me a long time ago, Vern, we will let you see and let you know what we want you to know.
Which kind of makes sense because, you got too much power, really, the press.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
But I don't see you wielding that power against them because you're just a nice guy.
Yeah.
You give me what I want, or I'm going to say that.
Hey, I show up, I do my job, but I follow the rules. There you go.
Have you ever gotten anybody angry at you? I'm trying to think of what you would ever do that it would make anybody get angry.
Frank Robinson screamed at me because I called him coach instead of manager in an interview. But
those are fighting words.
I was so rattled that I'm this Cub reporter. It's like one of my first few days on the job. The Orioles had just made a managerial change. They fired Cal Ripken Sr. They bring in Frank Robinson, larger than life guy, Hall of Fame. It's Frank Robinson.
Yeah.
And then here I am, this little Cub reporter in Baltimore, Maryland, asking for an interview. Oh yeah, sure. Camera's rolling. I called him coach. And he said, son, manager. So we get the camera.
Was that how he said it?
Yeah.
But that's not so bad.
But that was the first time, Edward.
Oh.
We get the cameras rolling again, and I called him coach again.
Oh.
This time he said, hey, I'm the manager.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we get the camera rolling again. Dang it, Edward. I called him coach again.
A third
and
time?
Then he went off on me like Sam Kinison, the stand-up comic, Rodney Dangerfield's back to school. He just unloaded on me, and he was right. I mean, I'm in a mid-major market, Baltimore. I'm major league team. It's Frank Robinson. He's the manager of the Baltimore. He's not the coach.
Yeah,
he's the manager.
There's a pitching coach and a defensive.
So I somehow I get through the interview. And then as I'm leaving the clubhouse, I look back, our eyes meet, and he winked at me. Going, I got you, kid. and Edward, from that point on, I could never do any wrong in Frank Robinson's eyes. I spilled coffee on him. I just get, and every time he would just give me a look, and then,
But now I can imagine every time you saw him, probably were shaking just a little bit.
No, but every time I did see him, he'd see me first and he'd go, "Oh no."
He's the one who shaking
every time.
Oh, that is so funny.
Every time, I will never forget that. And I reminded him of that. We laughed about it every time I saw him years after that because he later went on to work in the front office for Major League Baseball. So a lot of times he would roam around and visit spring training camps and stuff like that. And so you
keep your distance.
Yeah. Great guy. Great guy.
Just for fun, you should call him coach again.
McClymonds High School. Oakland, California.
That's right. He's a local for us.
Frank Robinson.
Local.
Yep.
When's the last time you saw him?
Oh, geez. I probably saw him a handful of years ago, and it hurt me terribly when he left us. He's screaming at somebody up beyond the pearly gates. Somebody probably called him coach, not the manager. Yeah. But yeah, he's just terrific.
I hope the coffee wasn't too hot when it spilled on him.
Well, he had been thrown out of a game, and so it's after the game. We're in his office, and usually, well, and this is Memorial Stadium, so this is not Camden Yards.
Okay.
This is Memorial Stadium, so it's an old stadium, and so the manager's office it's very old, very old, small, cramped. Yeah. So there's just one little desk, about half the size of the desk that you're sitting at now. He's got a cup of coffee in a white foam cup. Okay, yeah. Right in front of him. He sits down and he motions for us. Okay, he's ready to talk, and there's like 15 of us. We lean forward, and as we lean forward, my hand knocks the cup right in his lap.
What was his reaction?
He just looked at me, and he said, "Vern, go get me a towel out of the blank blank." I was like, "Oh, okay," and gave him the towel, kind of.
At least he called you by name.
Dabbed himself dry, and then he continued to explain how we got tossed out of the game.
That was a lot of complaining.
I'm cleaning it up for Econ. You know.
No, yeah, I know. Oh, gotcha.
I'm cleaning up the story. But that was one of the good ones.
And here I am thinking he was just like, Vern, would you be kind enough?
No, it wasn't.
I'm sorry, but that I can just imagine that. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, here's our last trivia question. If I can get through this here, which two Super Bowl teams played in the closest Super Bowl ever?
And I think I know that. I think I know this one.
Right. Okay.
Closest in terms of margin of victory?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. Okay, very good. All right, that's our trivia question. When we come back, Sports Econ 101 will have some closing comments. Stay with us. I didn't know you were cleaning it up that much for the show.
Well, he had the phone cup. He'd been tossed. I mean, he tossed out of the game. It was like a close game. Orioles lost. It was a bad loss.
I got to figure, yeah.
And so it's, you cut the tension with a knife in his office. I mean, it was bad, and so he sat down and he's like, all right, so we come forward and the first question was, Frank, what happened?
Yeah.
It's like, well, the coffee's just like in his lap. He's like, and everybody like paused, just like, and he looked, go get me a towel out of the shitter. Okay. Yeah.
That's still fairly clean for him, at least.
Oh man!
I mean, because I just have this feeling that he was somebody who, I don't say had a chip on his shoulder, but it's like he knew who he was.
Remember the famous video when he was the manager of the Cleveland Indians and he went out to get his pitcher, and the pitcher like kind of like tossed the ball.
Yeah.
He didn't like that.
It's funny because I was trying to remember which manager it was and which pitcher, because I remember there was
I don't know who the pitcher was, but man,
you don't just toss.
You throw the ball at him, yeah.
Just throw it down. That would have been good.
Yeah,
Probably would have torn him apart.
Yeah, he had a temper, man.
Yeah, the only guy to win MVP in both leagues.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Well, welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn. Last trivia question, which two Super Bowl teams played in the closest Super Bowl ever?
I'm going to say Cowboys, Colts, Super Bowl 5, 15-13 Colts on the strength of a Jim O'Brien field goal?
No. Actually, the hint, this one was decided by 1 point.
God, which one am I missing?
Yeah, and the thing is, this one was the one that this team had the closest potential to win, and they lost because the next 3 Super Bowls.
Oh, was that the Seahawks Patriots game? The pick at the goal line?
No. It was the Giants Bills.
Giants. Oh, yeah.
Giants field goal,
beat the field goal. Oh, that's right.
After that, the next 3 years, the Bills just got clobbered.
That's right.
Every year. That's tough. All right. Yeah, I know. I kind of felt. I actually was rooting for the Giants that first year. Then after that, it was like, yeah, come on, beat the Cowboys.
I believe Buffalo is the hometown of the most obscure U.S. president, Millard Fillmore.
Millard Fillmore. Okay, very good. A little trivia there.
There you go.
Presidents. Okay, let's see here. Let's go for our thoughts for the day. Nothing is impossible. The word itself, I'm possible, right, is how you spell it. Guess who said that? Audrey Hepburn.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a cute little one.
Audrey, she's one of my she's one of my desert island picks.
Your desert island picks.
Like if you have to repopulate the universe on a desert island, give me 5 in their prime.
She's one of your
Audrey Hepburn. Yeah, she's one of your
fantasy players.
She's one of my picks.
Okay. And the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts.
I like that.
See,
I like that. Yeah, may I use that? Yeah.
Yes, you may.
Oh, great.
All right. Tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be discussing sports topics from a business perspective. We'll also be asking more sports trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you at NFL Week 2.
That's it.
Good night, America.
So long. Oh. Boy, that is funny. You always make me laugh.
Oh, man.
Stuff. What do you got going on this week? Now you have to start doing a bunch of traveling again, don't you?
End of the month, I go to Indianapolis. It's my first road trip.
Pretty nice place. Seems like it'd be.
Only been there once. I hope to see more of it this time. In a perfect world, I'd get to Indianapolis early afternoon Saturday. I really would like to go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and do my Saturday shows from there. That would be great. Use that as a backdrop.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and then the game Sunday, and then I'll fly back Monday.
When you go, how much time do you get to yourself?
More than you think, because once I get there and file my report to be played in the Saturday newscast back here, I have the rest of Saturday night. Usually I get together socially for a few drinks, maybe dinner with any of the writers who happen to be in town that also flown in that day. There's a few kids on the Raiders media relations staff that are pretty cool, and they'll come out, from the team hotel, and then Sunday's the next day, and then it's kind of business as usual. Sunday you'll hit. I usually like to get to the stadium about an hour or so before the game, so I can I always want to figure out where the visiting coach's interview room is, where the visiting locker room is, where the press elevator is. I just want to know where everything is, because once the game ends and the heat's on, you got to know where everything is, and get my gear checked out, make sure it all work, and then I usually work with a photographer who is from the CBS affiliate locally there. So whatever the CBS affiliate is in Indianapolis, I'll work with him or her on work in the locker room Sunday after the game. I bring my gear and I put the camera on a tripod in the coach's interview room, because usually the coach comes out. Once the coach comes out, the locker room's open.
Okay.
So once the coach comes out and I kind of establish that shot and lock it down so that so the camera doesn't tilt up, down, whatever. I kind of like to hold it. Then I hit record, and then I'm streaming that back live with a device that I have. And so once that happens, then me and the photographer we go hit the locker room because once these guys dress and get out and they go to the team bus, they're gone. They're gone. Yeah. So so we do that, and then we feed all those interviews back, and then I go to the field, and then I do a little stand up, open, close, some narration, and then that's it. Then I leave the stadium. I used to try and catch the last flight back, but after I got burned missing a late flight after a game that went to overtime, I decided I'm just going to stay the extra night. I mean, I'm just going to stay that night, have a nice dinner, and come back the next morning. So
yeah, because you're usually off that day,
right? Yeah. And if I really want to be type 8 about it, I fly back Monday, go straight to the newsroom, and process my expense report. Because the sooner I get it in, the sooner I get my any personal expenses back into my account.
That makes sense.
And it usually takes a good 10 days to get it back, because it has to go from here. It's got to be approved. It's got to go to New York. It's got to be processed in New York, and then it goes back to me. So that's usually how.
Doesn't take too long, does it?
No. October will be busy. I think I have 3, at least 2. I go to Green Bay. I go to Houston. And I think I go one other place.
And you get
Green Bay's fun because it's from the time you get to the airport, you just feel like you've stepped into a museum, into a football museum. Just Green Bay with all that history. There's just all these streets are named after Packer players. It's really cool. It really is cool.
Start way.
Yeah. Fuzzy Thurston Street. Oh yeah. So
that's great.
So that's pretty cool.
Are there any cities you don't like?
We're just like, I gotta go there.
Buffalo.
Buffalo's not bad. Buffalo's pretty cool. I mean, there's this place called the Anchor Bar, very famous. Probably one of the oldest. I think one of the oldest bars in America. Very famous for their wings. Very, very famous. See a city that I'm just not thrilled about.
Minnesota or no?
Have not been to Minnesota.
Huh. That's the thing is, if you have to go during the winter time, that's kind of nasty. Have you had to do that where you had to like dress up like total winter coat type?
Yeah. A couple of a Jet game, a Steeler game.
Yeah.
The Jet game, snow everywhere. I mean, it was snowing during the game. It's just you're doing these stand-ups and you're in your full parka. Snow coming down. Yeah. I've had a few of those. Yeah, I've had a few of those. No, I can't think of it. It's not a town yet where I'm just like, oh, please, mommy, make it stop. Houston, I get great food.
Yeah.
It's spread out. I got friends that live in Houston.
Oh, okay. I go figure that you got to make friends in all the cities.
Yeah. The one, I don't know what to expect out of Indianapolis because I don't know anyone who lives in Indianapolis. Can't think of a one. Everywhere else I'm going, I can hook up with peeps.
Yeah. And you said you're going next week to Indianapolis?
No, like September 29th,
okay.
End of the month.
It'll still be good though.
Yeah, we'll be good. Well, the game's indoors, so Lucas Oil. So, yeah. Green Bay in October still. It won't be too bad. It'll be chilly. It won't be Green Bay in December. I've had a few of those. So
Chicago.
Chicago now. Chicago is one of my favorite towns. Great food, great. I mean, come on, it's Chicago.
Yeah, sure.
But the stadium, it's a bitch to get in and out of. They take the out of town media. They park you in like the furthermost parking level, and then it's like they've it's like it's like they expect everyone to just walk up and down steps. There's no ramps. I mean, if you're physically challenged, forget it.
Yeah, if you gotta like.
I mean, well, to me, yeah, because I had all this gear. Thank God I got this wheelbarrow thing. This fold out the cart. But that's a little bit of a pain.
So so with all that equipment, you go on the plane, you have to check everything in?
I have a download system. I check in. I check in my fold-up cart. I check that in. I check in my tripod. I check in my transmitter and my personal bag. But I've been able to fold up and pack everything so that it's really never any more than 3 pieces of luggage.
Okay.
And so
they haven't lost it yet, have
so,
they?
no, but
Problem.
Frontier Airlines damaged my tripod case. It was wrecked.
Ew. So what do you do in a case like that?
Put in a complaint. Nothing really came of it.